See the massive line of militia approaching us, the last backbone and bastion of Spain, trying to very bravely approach us there. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon at Total War as the British. Previously, we have completed our domination of Spain. We have, of course, taken Madrid, the central and capital region, as well as securing Gibraltar. So we start this episode by setting our sights with our newly formed army led by Sir John Moore. And we're going to take that army to try and take Denmark. I think we are going to go straight for the juggler here and go for Copenhagen as soon as we land. And that is because it's a little awkward really to go for Norway to start with. And then walk down and get intercepted while replenishing. Now the problem with going to Copenhagen immediately is that if we do take that, we'll have similar problems as we did in Madrid, whereby our public order will suffer greatly. In fact, we're only able to tax Madrid and keep a neutral public order state with a massive garrison in there of militia, of course. So it might well be an idea to start recruiting militia in England and London, very specifically, before we set off. And then what we can do is bring that in later on when we have actually taken Copenhagen. So that's ready to go now our army is freed up. So let's embark over here with our more minor fleet. There we go. And that can transport us all the way over to Denmark. Now, where exactly are we going to land? Probably just land straight here, really. That's fairly easy. We can do that in one turn. While that's travelling, the diplomatic option is in fact taken while we're travelling, but we can look at our construction. We have upgraded our university in Spain, which is excellent. That will help our research greatly in that region. We also have a tax office in Gibraltar that is converted from a military building there to help out our taxation and such. Let's have a look at how that has impacted our research. So we had 7 turns remaining. That's gone straight down to 4 turns remaining. Really illustrates how useful it is to have a second tier university around for your research. So we have Joint Stock Company giving us a massive bonus to our wealth later on. We're also going for Army Corps Organisation in one more turn for reduced upkeep on all land units, which is excellent. How close are we to getting the new drill school over here? 3 turns away, that's absolutely fine. Unfortunately, we don't have the money to upgrade any roads at the moment because they do cost 4,500. And they take 10 turns to create as well, that's absolutely massive. We might want to upgrade our factory over here though for a little more wealth, and so that we can later upgrade that to get the final tier of industrial technologies. I don't think there's anything else we really want to spend our money on at the moment. We might want to upgrade our secret society for more spies coming out, which would be rather useful. Was that Silesian? What was this light unit? Brunswick sharpshooters, very interesting to come out of there. We do need modern rifles for that. Very interesting light units we wouldn't usually get. Interesting there. So, I think we upgrade one of our factories, and that might have to be in England to help with our public order there as well, because we can take the hit there. So let's do that. So that will reduce our money down to pretty much 0. We can see Austria is making massive advances over here in Wallachia and Yash and such. Very, very interesting indeed. They are crushing the Ottoman Empire there, and they're also making gains into Italy as well, which means France is very much on the back foot. From what we can see, they have this one army in Paris, as they always will do. Love to recruit from there. We did beat back Napoleon previously, so our current threats are this minor army and this minor army, which might just decide to form up into one army. What we can do is try and sabotage this. 56%. Hasn't worked, not a problem. We haven't lost our agents from that. So the question is, do we just march straight into France here? That is the question, because we might still want to go straight to Palma as well. And I think while we have the space around, we'd have some breathing space because France isn't advancing onto us. We can take an army over there. Won't quite scout that out on the way down, but that's absolutely not a problem. Who do we want to take? I think we absolutely have to take Michael Stoll because he has the least amount of replenishment to do. We're not getting any bonuses to our replenishment from staying in the central Madrid region here, so we're going to garrison in Pamplona. Going to come over here. I think we'll take one more turn to replenish this unit over here. That's absolutely fine. We can still embark, I believe, and that will help our replenishment, or at least we're able to replenish. That's not a problem. And then on the next turn we can go over to Palma there. I wouldn't mind fighting at full strength. So what will be the repercussions of fighting Denmark? Let's go to... okay, so they do have 2 stacks. That is interesting. Maybe we can't land immediately. Over here at least. That is rather interesting. We might need a second army over here. Just for some numbers, of course. What we might do then is postpone this and we'll focus on Palma today. That's absolutely fine. What we can do then is retreat a little, and what we can do is, rather than recruit the militia, start recruiting a second army here. So let's go for, they're both 6-pounders, so we'll go for some horse artillery for the mobility if we do need to unlimber and move around, which is often the case with 6-pounders. And I think we shall go, of course, for some light units to begin with. And that will run us down once again. But not to worry. Little delay on that, but it's absolutely fine. We did have a complete lack of scouting in Denmark, so we had no idea if that was the full strength in just the garrison there. But not to worry. What we can do then is replenish here and focus on Palma. And of course, at the end of that turn, we do finally have Army Corps organisation, which is excellent. So that's going straight on to far in advance. We'll double check what we can research in just a second. But so we do have our recruitment. We have a bomb catch and a 64-gun third rate, which is excellent. That will reinforce our secondary fleet there. We have some vineyards in Spain as well, which will help with our happiness and, of course, a great boost to our income, which is excellent. So... do we want to, I think we want to just focus on building up yet another army. This will hurt our income, but we're still fairly stable. We can certainly afford another army. Currently spending 13,000 every turn on our army upkeep, which is disgusting, and 5,700 on our navy. We're very much held up by our 14,700 trade income at the moment, which will take a hit when we finally go to war with Denmark, because we are trading with them, but that's not a bother. We are able to secure the Gibraltar Straits over there for the trade nodes. I think we're going to make a fairly simple army once again. I do like to go fairly standardised with my armies. So we'll carry on with that, and we will hire a general, I think, for that, of course. We don't have the money just yet, but who do you want to look at? Drill Master's not necessarily bad for campaign movement range. We have command when attacking, command and command. Okay, command's not necessarily bad either because it lets us deploy second. Alexander Abercrombie's never bad either, so we might well go for him. It does take a fair bit of money to recruit though, as you would well expect. So we're going to come down here and just pick up our reinforcements so we do stay safe, just in case something nasty pops up out of nowhere. A shame that we have to postpone that, but not to worry. Got a very nice looking fleet here now, that bomb catch, the Razzie 64 and 98 gunner there. So let's actually have a look at Palma, shall we? Okay, so they have 1.5 stacks. That's absolutely fine. Provincial militia though. Some of it is actually rather well chevron, but what's this second one got? More provincial militia. I think we should be fine. If we do a quick save, we will be fine to take that on. We won't be able to move on this turn because we have embarked outside of a port, but that's absolutely fine. And we can move back. Nelson's run out of range because of that as well, but not to worry. We might get out some more trade ships then. And actually I think we've made a small mistake in taking this navy, which has the captured merchantmen over here. We should have put those to use right away. That's a small oversight, but certainly something that can still pay off for us. That's absolutely fine. Double check the ivory. I think this one from Denmark is going to the ivory. So that war will sort this out for us later on as well. So let's get going once again. But in fact, I have actually forgotten about our research. We could go for fire in advance. It's not something I often use though. Carronades, not necessarily bad because it lets us construct carronade frigates. But top gallants might not be a bad idea either for increased campaign movement range and increased battle speed of our ships. So we're certainly going to go for that. Still takes 3 turns as well, which is very, very quick indeed. Well, due to a lack of paying attention to our scouting there, the 2 minor French armies have in fact combined and are about to take Barcelona. Not much we can do about that, unfortunately. We will have to take a hit, but we can counter with Wellesley on the next turn. And of course, on the end turn, the Kingdom of Spain is going to attack our army on Palma, but it is completely militia. The first army over here, their morale is only 3 across the board, accuracy of 20, compared to our base unit's accuracy of 38 and a morale of 10. That's unchevroned as well. So even with their fully chevroned people, morale of 6, accuracy of 28. This should be a fair walkover. Our cavalry should get some very good flanks as well because militia cannot form squares, I shall reiterate there. So once we kill the general, our cavalry should run riot. So it should be a fairly easy takeover. We'll of course take losses because of the massive amount of men the enemy are fielding here. They have 4,500 in this half stack and 9,500 in this full stack over here. So very interesting there, but I'm sure we can do this. Okay, so before we start, we're very interestingly deployed inside the city here rather than the other side. I'd have thought the enemy, being the people defending the city, would have spawned here themselves, but not a problem. I, for one, am not a big fan of fighting inside the city, so we've deployed a few units just to make sure we do have a central line inside the city, but I'm sure we're going to try and push forwards outside, and that's the plan we're taking. We're going to try and push forwards with our cannons. We haven't unlimbered just yet. Probably bring them only a few, or a little bit of a range over here into this field, and we will protect them on their left with some elites, with our Grenadiers and Black Brunswickers and Swiss, of course. We're going to come around, of course, onto our right side with just a couple units, but we have to form some horrible columns over here and blocks because we're just on the edge of our deployment zone there. And on our left flank, we're going to come in with our standard line infantry, curl round, supported by a general, because our standard line will have the weaker morale. And we're going to come around with our cavalry as well, hopefully take this hill, whereby we can shoot the enemy in the flank there. But that's very much pressing into their own deployment zone. So let's have a look and move into range. And as we unlimber our cannons, you can see the massive line of militia approaching us, the last backbone and bastion of Spain, trying to very bravely approach us there, and I'm sure we shall crush them very, very quickly with the thunder of our cannons. It's very much an advantage we have in this battle. Of course, the enemy without any cannons. What we can do is fire on their general staff, and hopefully we skim through him. Looks like they're ignoring our orders. What we need to do is take off fire at will and reissue that. Very nice hit immediately though. Take off a few men. But yeah, there we go. Okay, that's not quite what they asked for either. Cannons, this is another reason I'm not the greatest fans of cannons, because that's nowhere near what I asked for. That is absolutely in range. What are you doing, guys? Are you going to turn back round? Not the most responsive of units. While they're doing that, we're going to have to faff on and enclose the gap over here because the enemy's not worried about this hill at all, which is excellent for us. Move up our general as well on here. And of course our cavalry can come around all the way to the flank here. We have moved up a little bit with these units. I think what we're going to do is move over here, trapped by that log. Move over here, use a building as cover, probably even garrison inside there. That can carry 374 men. That's absolutely fine. We have 360 in one unit. Yeah, it looks like they're not listening to us whatsoever. What are you doing? Okay. Alright, so that's... The cannons can just do what they want. That's absolutely fine. So these two units are going to come under a lot of stress because the enemy is reinforcing from this area and they've not yet finished with their reinforcements. Probably not even quite half of their reinforcements are coming in yet. So this left flank push is going to be crucial. That needs to come in as quickly as possible and really just destroy the enemy very, very quickly over there. So I think, yeah, we will take this garrison before the enemy can position. And then what we can do is curl round over here double time that. And of course we'll double time this as well, where possible. In fact, we're not able to because we're right on top of the garrison. Looking like they're trying. Is the entrance over here, is it? That's rather interesting. Okay. Okay, not entirely sure what's going on here either. We're not getting a lot of response today, are we? The enemy's not too worried about firing us either. And that suits us just fine because we're getting some massive morale penalties onto the enemy already there. Getting some good fire by rank out here as well. Excellent to see. There you go. Oh, we gained a chevron as well, which is always good to see. Now, how are we doing over here? Because we might well be getting outflanked. We are trying to perhaps approach... Yeah, that's not going to work. We will approach the wall here for some modicum of cover. And we'll push up over here a little better. Cannons probably want to fire canister. Are they in range? Not quite optimum range for that just yet. No idea why we're flying out there still. Very strange indeed. Cannons are not behaving today whatsoever. And our infantry have not deployed correctly here at all. So it might just be best to form a standard line immediately. Yeah, that's just not working, is it, for us? But not to worry, we can certainly go around again. Bring our cavalry in to chase this unit down. And we'll come in with the rest of our flanking force over here. Don't have that selected properly. There we go. And so, what are we doing over here? Are we actually going to fire? We certainly are. Right when the enemy's right in our face. The the minor problems with this game are certainly showing themselves today. What's going on here? Let's fire some canister out onto this unit, please. You can see absolutely ripping them apart already. Of course, on the reload though, might just be getting this unit out. We are going to be struggling a tad with this unit. Another chevron gains though, always helpful. That will help our morale and accuracy. There we go, yeah, just chase these units down, make sure that they do retreat fully. And we can just plug this gap a little bit over here. We'll come behind our units. Struggling once again with the logs over here. Let's try and sort that out, shall we? Not doing as we say, that's very interesting. I hope that's not a recurring theme for this battle. Gonna reform with our cavalry, get some order going there and threaten the enemy's flank. Enemy is charging us, almost threatening a melee, but because they're right in our faces and really disordered, we're going to take massive advantage of that. Pushing with our general, of course. We are holding and shattering some enemies. Let's move over to this angle. This unit's actually not in range of anything, so we need to push forwards. Because there's nothing we hate more than an idle unit in a time like this. And this canister shot really ripping through the enemy. Look at all these corpses on the ground there, shattering the enemy very, very quickly. They will return if they're in this current routed state. Not a problem. We're going to return to round shot and try and punch through these lines here. We're going to pincer the general, who thinks he's very, very brave and can take us all on. Struggling a little bit with our facing there. That'll be a permanent morale debuff to the enemy there, of course. This unit can't quite keep up with the rest of our army there. We'll try and reform this again because that is... Should we just give them a general move order outside of the building first? And this unit can take up over here. Canister once again to go through this line. Now, how are we doing over here? We might start routing soon, so I'm going to bring our general. Give him some waypoints over here. That will threaten him, but it makes sure we do keep this line out over here very safe. So we have destroyed the enemy general, which is excellent. He has routed off completely. They do have an acting general over here, so we'll just get on top of that. Excellent stuff. go back to round shot and try and batter through here once again to support our infantrymen. We'll take one unit of cavalry to come through here and make sure this unit routes completely. Double time this unit because this left flank has been fairly idle so far. Are we in range over here? Looks like we're just coursing the reload. That's absolutely fine. We're about to start firing out. Use a lot of ammo already, have these grenadiers. Lovely stuff. We love to see a good 5-hour rank coming out. Yeah, we're just chasing down these units over here, which is excellent. Force them to completely shatter and surrender, causing havoc on the enemy backline here, which is great for us. Making sure this unit is routing off completely as well. Make sure they get shattered. And have we reformed over here? Just about. Okay, what we can do is push forwards with our Black Brunswickers and such over here. And it's just about closing this gap even more. Let's try and push onto this unit. And we will... Don't know why that move order was strange, but that's okay. Double time. I think we are absolutely still managing to take cover from this wall over here, which is excellent. Have taken a lot of losses though on this particular King's German Legion. So we are going to have to reinforce that as quickly as possible. Cannons. Morale is being shaken there, interestingly. But this unit's going to get absolutely battered. Absolutely battered. As it comes under fire from our units, which are just about in range to skim that. And they're going to start firing on that. So still forming. So that's not going to happen. But they can get some fire onto this unit of militia. And therefore, what we can do is reface over here. What we can do is pull back to our cannons with these units. They've done a good job. Done what they needed to. Still in a melee over here. We need to sort this out because we have forgotten about that. Come round over to these retreating units and run those down. Come back out over here quite wide. Push in once again. Cannons are on round shots. Let's try and fire into the backs over here to support our cavalry a little. Getting caught. We have dealt with this unit, so we need to come out before we take more losses. Very tempting to actually run down this unit, but I think what we'll do is reform, get some order here. Keep chasing these units down, make sure they don't return. You can see we're getting caught because we do have a couple cavalrymen in this area over here. Very nice, slow, steady, but brutal push from our men and staunch defence on our backline here. We do need to come back with our general. Just make sure he's in this sort of area. And we shall fire onto this big blob over here with our cannons if they do indeed listen to us, which would be nice, wouldn't it? Let's retake our cavalry over here. Being threatened on the flank there, are we? So we'll come back round a little closer to our main line. Yeah, General is threatened, but that's absolutely fine for now. Going to want to close round over here. Have a lot of people coming our way, don't we? Okay, let's pull back a little bit with our general. We do have some reserve-ish over here. These grenadiers have been in battle. What we can do is get our cavalry into this back as well, so it's ready. And we'll push even harder over here. And we'll tidy that line up as we get there. Okay, so we do need to think about canistering now. Try and change our... Before we get any friendly fire, we'll change our cannons stuff, because we have actually destroyed, have we? Yeah, we've actually shot into one of our own guns because of this very tight angle there. Bit of a misplay there. We're going to take off fire at will once again and try and get them turned. Come on. Holding the line once again, very nicely indeed. Very, very disappointed with our cannons here, just not listening to what we have to tell them. Gonna have to double time this to form up our line and get shots into the enemy's back here. Just look at all that smoke. Look at all that smoke. Love the effects in the Darth mod. Rousing these units over here, we can continue with that. We need to bring back our cavalry over here. What we do over here is actually turn to face the incoming enemy, double time that, and this unit can go around over here. What are our cannons doing? Are they behaving? One of our units has used all its ammunition. Who is that? That's this unit over here. Not too surprised, they've had a lot to do. Okay, so we gotta go around here, double time that. We're gonna have to pull back, unfortunately. I don't want to put them into melee because they have lost a fair amount of men already. Cannons, it's probably best that they stay inactive really if they're going to be doing this. There we go, they're reassuring there, they're quite happy to turn around. Let's just turn here. So a little messy, but not to worry. Turn over here, make sure the enemy doesn't return on this flank. Might want to unlimber our cannons and pull them back a tad while we have the option. I think we do that now, and that might actually get them listening to us. We should just be able to rouse off this unit over here. It is tired and very much wavering. We're very tired ourselves though. Units shattered over here. Let's get onto this unit. Make sure that doesn't come in our flank completely. And what we'll do is get a good cavalry charge over here, and with the fire coming out from these two units, that should completely rouse off this pushing unit over here. They are overlapping, so if this unit gets any fire out, they'll be firing into their own backs there. AI almost as brain dead as us sometimes. Another unit's used all of its ammunition. Is that on the flank that really matters? It certainly is. That's rather a shame. Cavalry's going to have to do some heavy work over here then. Split them up. Push over. We can take this ground now, but our grenadiers very low on ammunition, and that's one of the dangers of actually fighting militia such as this. They have so many men to tear through, but they do keep coming back. Even with a really low morale. Slightly out of position here. We'll have to tidy up these lines. That's absolutely fine. In fact, we can just push hard over here. Cannons might not actually be needed. Okay, how's our cavalry doing here? That's under fire, so we're going to pull out and draw the enemy into our own firing lines. Still chasing down on the edge here, very limply. Let's reissue that order. Watch our cavalry on this end. Come for this militia. Charge that down. Our light cavalry though is still very tired, so they're going to be running a lot slower and have much worse charges there. I'm not liking that. So our cavalry not doing as we say at all because we're getting caught. And really this is only something I think this unit might well rouse off. It's taking a lot of losses and it's just being shot in the back. But this is something really only I think addressed in Shogun 2 where your units are more responsive and do exactly as you say when you say it. So we're going to turn around here and protect our cavalry. Need to fix this line as well. Just get right in their faces. We can take the hits while we're moving in, that's not a problem. Cavalry over here is idle, that's fine. Over here, it just needs to get safe, doesn't it? But we're right at the edge of the map, so bring them down here. How did this unit go? That's absolutely fine. Don't need to bring them in anymore, I don't think. We should be absolutely fine to leave them idle. General, where do you go? Just here. Let's push up and support our own morale. We did take one loss on the general from some stray shots. Going to keep our cannons idle, I think. Actually, no, we can push them up in this area. These grenadiers fairly low on ammo, so I think they can come back. That's absolutely fine. Now, I've got a bad feeling I've made the two units. No, that's absolutely fine. The King's German is here. I had a bad feeling I put them on the front lines because I'm very forgetful. I'm going to run out of position here. It's just a slog. Just a slow and steady slog. Quite high on ammunition though, on our left flank. well, that was a massive, massive slog. We ran out of ammunition on a good number of our men there. Our Black Brunswickers actually decided to engage in melee and chase the enemy down with our cavalry there because they ran out of ammunition, and that did cause the enemy to retreat. They do still have a massive amount of people remaining at 4.6 thousand, so that is going to take a second battle to take Palma. So let's have a look at that. We did, of course, lose Catalonia to the French on the end turn. See our traits. We have +3 to morale battles with this general. Excellent. And more subterfuge for Leonard McNally. Have cobbled roads in Gibraltar. Excellent. We do have our recruitment in London as well. So, first things first, let's fix our minor oversight over here. Take our merchantmen, and we can just very quickly scout out the ivory over here. I'm pretty sure there's a Danish fleece on there. There's not. There is. Okay, not a problem. What about... We're on T here, so we'll take that. Not a problem. Lost our movement. But I'm sure in the upcoming war with Denmark, we can sort that out later. Let's get some more ships onto this node, which is excellent. We'll keep our income fairly stable there. So how are we looking on Palma? Yeah, massive, really, really good replenishment here, actually. Look at that. We should be able to take this on. Yeah, okay, what we can do is... why is this such a fortress? Why is this such a fortress? Still quite a lot more men than us. Of course, we'll have the same outcome as before. We will win, but at what cost? What cost? We could just continue the siege there. I'm absolutely happy to wait the 4 turns for that. What we can do is threaten, or just watch out for our merchant navy over here. We're not going to get anything from raiding, but we can just sit here and block the Strait of Gibraltar there. It's absolutely fine, and that'll keep our merchant navy safe. So what about Barcelona? Well, we do still have some replenishment to do with our grenadiers over here, and that will take a good few turns. But we do still have a general numbers advantage over here. They're getting much better replenishment than us. They're in the green here, which is very strange because we do have logistics and field ambulances and such. Oh, we don't have field ambulances yet. That might be the problem there, because that is the next tier down, and that's even more replenishment bonuses. Let's have a look. Paris doesn't have the drill school, so I don't see how that would be possible for them to get the better replenishment, especially since they're without a true general. That is rather interesting. Speaking of true generals, let's get Alexander Abercrombie here. Just has more traits in command. His traits at the moment aren't particularly special, but as he fights battles, he will of course get greater traits. We do still need to bring in some cavalry here. We do only have light cavalry available. The British very limited on heavy cavalry themselves, very much rely on standard light cavalry. So we're going to just bring in some chevroned light dragoons. Not a problem there. We bring in 3 of those, and that leaves us with about 5 more slots for some good line infantry, I think. What about the British Dutch Legion? Nothing particularly outstanding with them. Morale of 6, accuracy of 30 compared to our standard 6 and 38. So that sells it for us, I'm afraid there. Same traits as usual. That's absolutely fine. What about Lightfoot? Don't really need any extra Lightfoot. Got 3 units. Yeah. What is the reload skill difference? 28 and 30. That's rather interesting. But we will just have to keep some standard line infantry there. Looks like there's a rebellion over here in Yash. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. The Austrians can't keep hold of their land, but we're not really ones to speak by letting the bloody French in again, are we? We can see Napoleon is back. He does only take 1 turn to convalesce after any damage sustained. So, Not much we can do about these two units over here, so we're going to try and sabotage this army again. Not going to work, absolutely fine, which suggests we wouldn't have been able to do anything about this army to begin with. Actually, they do have a true general. Okay, you can tell they have a true general from the command stars. I wonder who that is. I wonder who that is. They're not going to tell us. But unfortunately, guys, it's going to be a quick and easy episode today. The fortress of Palma shall be falling, hopefully, in the next episode. And we shall be taking Barcelona in the next episode once again. I think we'll leave the one turn to replenish. We don't actually have the movement to get over there, so any replenishment we can get is all good. I'm afraid I'm somewhat limited on time myself today, guys. Otherwise, it would have been longer. But I do hope you have enjoyed the video nonetheless. Always good to present you with some Napoleon Total War. So, having said that, I shall have to see you in the future. May all of your nights and days be auspicious. Goodbye.